going to share with you how I lost $3.3 million last year because of the infinite banking concept. Specifically, the policies that are used to do the concept. These are specifically designed and engineered whole life policies. I'm going to share with you how I lost $3.3 million last year because of these policies. This is information that most people will not share with you. Your advisor will not share this information with you. Your life insurance agent, they will not share this information with you because they don't want to lose $3.3 million. My name is Devin Burr. In this video, I'm going to break everything down and show you exactly how this worked, why I gave up $3.3 million in commissions, because infinite banking is a process. Infinite banking is a strategy. Life insurance is a product. Infinite banking is how to use the product, but it has to be designed correctly. You see, most people, when they think of life insurance, they think of a death benefit. So if you go and try to get a life insurance policy for infinite banking from your regular agent, from your broke-ass brother-in-law, they're going to be like, yes, absolutely, I'll get you a policy for infinite banking, because what they're thinking is they get to set you up with a whole life insurance policy. They're thinking of the product. They know that they can structure that product to make a ton of commission. However, infinite banking, again, is a strategy of how to use a specifically designed policy. That policy has to be designed to give up commission. The agent has to give up commission. They have to do that in order for the policy to be built correctly. In most agents, one, they don't know how to build it. They don't know how to structure it. And if they do, they don't want to. They want to set up a policy just like the one Dave Ramsey talks about. Dave Ramsey talks about a regular, off-the-shelf, whole life insurance policy. Infinite banking, if done properly, is using a policy that gives up, the agent gives up 60 to 90% of their commission. They give up so that you can get. They give up their commission so that you can get cash value. So you can use that cash value to become your own bank, to practice infinite banking. In this video, I'm going to break it all down so you have a full understanding of how these policies are engineered. I hope you get a ton of value from this video. When you do, please make sure to like it. That helps the algorithm a ton. It helps me help more people. And throw your comments in the comment section. I will answer all of your questions. Let's jump into it. So if infinite banking is a process, a strategy, not a product, what is the strategy? What is the process? It's really just taking back the banking functions in your life. Banking is actually the most profitable business in the world. So wouldn't it make sense if it's something you have to do, you have to use banking, you have to use money, wouldn't it make sense if it's the most profitable for you to be your own bank, to become your own bank by practicing infinite banking? To do that, you have to have a specifically designed policy. So think of it like this. We've all played Monopoly as kids, right? Maybe you play it now still as an adult, but it's very simple. You start on go, right? And every time you pass go, you collect $200. The whole point of the game is to go around the board and stay out of jail, of course, and collect opportunities. So to buy houses, to buy things so that you can actually get rental income from the people that land on your property. That's the point of the game, right? And every time you pass go, you collect $200. So basically, infinite banking is the same thing. You're starting at go. That's you starting an infinite banking policy. And as you go around the board, you use the policy for opportunities. The opportunities might be to buy some real estate. The opportunity might be to pay off debt. The opportunity might be to buy a car and use your policy to finance it instead of borrowing from a bank. you become your own bank. So what happens is as you move around the board in your life, the money comes back to the policy. And as that money comes back to the policy and you pass go again, that's every year. Think of it every year. As you go back through your policy and you renew it, you get a dividend from the insurance company. So that's you collecting the $200. The dividend is something that the insurance company pays to you because they've been profitable and it is tax free. It's a beautiful thing. And the companies that we use have paid a dividend every single year for over 140 years consecutively. So the beauty of these dividends, unlike Monopoly, where you're going and it's just $200 every time, with dividends, they get bigger, they compound, they grow tax free. So that's kind of infinite banking in a nutshell. It is taking back the banking function in your life and you're using it just like the game of Monopoly. You're going around the board. The board is you using your policy for an entire year, and you're just collecting opportunities using the policy to finance them, whether it's an investment, whether it is buying a new car, whether it is paying off debt and recapturing the money you used to lose on that debt. That's infinite banking. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to break out the whiteboard. I'm going to show you guys one of my policies, how it was designed and how it's different than your regular advisor, your regular life insurance would have structured the policy. I'm going to break out how much commissions were so you can see exactly how much commission I made and how much commission should have been if it was built like a normal life insurance policy. This is the whole key behind how I gave up $3.3 million worth of commissions last year because all of the policies that I designed for my clients, I gave up 60 to 90% of my commission so that these clients can have 60 to 90% more cash value than a regular policy. If you get a regular whole life policy, you put money in year one, guess how much cash value you have? Zero. Year two, you put money in, guess how much cash value you have? Zero. Year three, you have a little bit of cash value. That's a regular whole life policy. And it's because the agent is making a ton of commission. So what I've done is I've set up policies for people lowering my commission and giving them cash value. So basically, when they put money into a policy, 60 to 90% of what they put in is immediately available in cash value. They can use that money right away. So let's break out the whiteboard, show you guys how this works. And again, hopefully you're going to get a ton of value from this. If you already have, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Let's jump into it. Okay, guys, so now that you kind of understand what the concept of infinite banking is, let me show you one of my policies that I use to do this concept. Again, the concept of infinite banking is just a strategy of how to use a specifically designed and engineered whole life. You can't do infinite banking if you don't have cash value. So a regular whole life policy won't work. But as you'll see, in this policy, I got a ton of cash value. So this policy is on my daughter, Haley. Got it when she was 12 years old. So the first year, I put in 6,000 bucks. I put in $6,000. That's the premium that I'm putting into the policy. As you can see, the cash value is mostly available. So most of the premium, the 6,000, is available in cash value because it's designed that way. All right. So $5,500 in cash value year one for putting in six. That's pretty darn good. That's like 90% liquid the first year. And again, it's because it's designed that way. So I can take that cash value and, like I said, have it go around the board, the Monopoly board, for opportunities, pay off debt. I actually used this policy to get my daughter's braces. So we paid for her braces and then we paid ourselves back. So we're doing infinite banking with her policy because we have that cash value. Now, year two, 6,000 goes in. I've got access to almost everything that I've put in. I put in 12, I got access to almost 12,000 bucks. Next year, 6,000 goes in. I can use now 17,732. I can use all of that cash value for whatever I want to become my own bank, and I never interrupt the compound growth of the money I'm putting in. The compound growth within the policy is guaranteed. It'll never stop, and it's tax-free. So that's the gist of infinite banking. You're using a vehicle, a whole life insurance policy, because it's guaranteed to grow. It's always going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's growing tax-free. And the money's protected from lawsuits and judgments. So no one can touch that money but me as the owner of the policy. So how is this possible? How is it possible that I can get this much cash value out of a policy? And it's because of the design. So a couple things you need to understand inside of a policy. There's a base premium. So the base premium is the regular off-the-shelf whole life. That's what Dave Ramsey talks about. He says it's the worst place to put money. But these policies, what we're doing is we're lowering the base. So with the base premium, it's only coming out to be about 10 to 40% of the total premium. This is the total premium, the 6,000 per year. So of the 6,000, there's only about 10 to 40% of it going to base. The base is where all the commissions are because the base gets the death benefit. The bigger the base, the bigger the death benefit. The bigger the death benefit, the bigger the commission for the agent. So in order for a policy to be set up for infinite banking, the base needs to be lowered. It's got to be as low as possible without triggering a MEC, a modified endowment contract. If that happens, the policy becomes taxable. And that is why it's important to work with individuals that know what the heck they're doing. Our company, this is all we do. We set up policies like this. We know how to avoid the MEC 7 payroll. It's an IRS guideline. We know how to make sure your policy will never become taxable. So we lower the base, which lowers the death benefit. It makes the death benefit not the highlight of the policy. It makes the cash value the highlight of the policy. But how is that possible still? It's with paid up additions, PUAs. So what we do is we take the total premium, the 6,000, we have anywhere from 10 to 40% going towards the base, and then the rest going towards the paid up additions. So we have anywhere from 60 to 90% of the premium, the total premium, going to PUAs. PUAs, what they do is they give you a whole bunch of cash value and a little bit of death benefit. So the commissions are super, super low on PUAs. So take for instance, with base premium, the agent makes generally anywhere from 55 to 90% of what the premium is. So if this policy was 100% base, 6,000 bucks, if it was all base, the agent would make almost $6,000 the first year. What we're doing, we're lowering the base to about 10 to 40% of the 6,000. So we're getting paid a heck of a lot less commission. The rest go into PUAs, and PUAs are only paid about 2% commission. So this is why the agent, one, has to know how to structure this to where it does not become a MEC, modified endowment contract. They have to know how to make sure it doesn't do that. But if they know how to do that, they have to be willing to drop the base and put everything into PUAs, or most of it into PUAs, so that you get cash value, so that you can get this cash value to use it as a living benefit, to use it to take back the banking function in your life. What that results in is a heck of a lot less commission. In my case, last year, $3.3 million worth of commission. If I would have set up all the policies I did, 100% base, I would have made $3.3 million more commission. So guys, this is how it works. This is a structure of a policy, and there's no one size fits all. It all depends on what your goals are for the policy. So I've got a lot of videos that talk about that, and I'm not going to get too much into the different product designs, the different policy designs. Just know that a regular off-the-shelf whole life policy is 100% to base, which is going to get you a real big death benefit. Death benefit on this policy, $937,000. And it's because it was on my daughter Haley when she was 12. She's got a long time to live, so the money's got a long time to grow. However, if I designed this policy to be 100% base, at $6,000, that death benefit would be way bigger. It'd be way, way bigger. It'd be multi-million dollar death benefit, and commissions would have been a lot higher. So just know, regular whole life that most people are going to talk about is going to be 100% base premium. That's where all the commissions are. That's what the agent wants to sell you on. What we do with our company, we lower that base down, we lower the death benefit as much as possible without it becoming taxable, and have you overfund it with paid up additions. So you're getting more money into the contract that's guaranteed to compound and grow, tax-free, that's protected from lawsuits and judgments, and that you can use right away. That cash value you can use without interrupting the compound growth. That is infinite banking. Using that amazing vehicle, if structured properly, to become your own bank and to mimic what banks do with money. So the next part of this video, I'm going to show you an actual commission statement so you can know that I'm not blowing steam here. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I get paid on these policies and how I've lowered the commission, and then we'll compare it to what it would have been if the policy was designed like most people, putting 100% to base. All right, let's jump into that. All right, guys, so here's a policy that I wrote. As you can see, I'm the agent on this policy, me, Devin Burr. And this is written last year. I'm going to block the name of the person because I don't need to be giving that information away to you guys, who this person is. I'm sure they would not appreciate that. So there we go. All right, so as you guys can see, this policy was done in 2024, March of 2024. And this is the renewal. So this is the first year's commissions. As you guys can see, this policy was written, this is the base premium. This is $3,500 in base. So commissions, I get paid 90% of that. And the paid up additions, $8,500 there. And then also $47.85 here. Look at how low these commissions are for the PUAs. It's only $127 for $8,500. That's why this client got so much cash value from the $8,500, because I'm only getting paid $127 in commissions. Now, the LPUAs, same thing. So $4,700 is going in. So what is that all together? This client had about 13,000 or so bucks going in year one. I'm paid 1.5% of the money that's put in. So $7,100 basically here, $127 there. And there's also a term insurance. This is basically needed on the policy to keep it non-taxable. So $153 was the term insurance that was paid. I get paid 2.4% of that. So I'm getting $3.72. Most of the income is coming from, most of the commissions are coming from this base premium. But as you can see, this client's putting in quite a bit of money into the policy year one. You add these numbers up and, obviously they were putting in quite a bit of money. They have access to most of it because the only thing that you really can't do, you can't lower this base premium too much. If it's lowered too much, that's when the policy becomes taxable. So the base premium is as low as it really could be on this policy without it becoming taxable. So the client has access to a bunch of money from this policy. Now, if we look at the math, I'll bring over my calculator here for you guys. Let's bring this back up. So let's look at this, guys. If you look at Let's see. This person was putting in $8,500 into that. 3527 into the base and 153 into the term, and then 4785 into the PUAs there. So basically $17,000 going into this policy the first year. If this was a regular policy, like most agents are going to build, the cash value, or I'm sorry, the total premium of 17,000 would have been 100% base. So paid at 90%, I would have made on this policy $15,000 in commission. However, you guys can see the commissions right here. So what I made in commission wasn't $15,000. That's what most agents are going to do. And this policy would have zero cash value for the first few years. What I got paid in commission, you guys can follow along with this. I mean, who was it? Jay-Z said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't, right? So I'm just adding up these commissions that you guys can see over here. Plus $3 and plus 70. Let's round that one up since I rounded the last one down. Plus $72. So I made $3,300 in commission off of how much they were putting in, the 17 grand, opposed to 15,000 in commission. That's the difference. Now, the way these policies work, as I was telling you, is these PUAs, this amount of premium gets a bunch of cash value and a little bit of death benefit. So 8,500 was there, plus this number, those are the PUAs. So 4785. So this client put into PUAs about $13,285. Now, there's a little bit of cost for death benefit because remember, PUAs get a little bit of death benefit, but a whole bunch of cash value. So it comes out to generally about 94% of the PUAs are cash value. So this client, for putting in $17,000, had access to over 12 grand year one. So if we divide that by 17,000, this client got about 73% liquid year one. Okay. Now, year two, it's going to be even better because all of the money is going to compound and grow. So this client renewed the policy, same amount goes to the base. The PUAs, 4785 goes there. And the reason why there isn't two of them, because this client did a dump in. This was extra PUAs that this client put in year one. So that was just extra money she was dumping into the policy. So year two, only 4785 is going to go in. So the policy is going to grow because there's compound interest on all of the first year that the client put in. All that money is compounding and growing. And now year two comes around, they're going to put in 4785, and PUA's year two have about 94% liquid of that money, which is $4,500, plus all of the growth that this money got year one. And generally, these policies grow around 5 to 6% annually, tax-free. So this is the difference, guys. I made on this policy about $3,300. If I would have structured it like most agents structure, I would have made almost $16,000. Crazy, absolutely crazy. So now you guys know how I gave up $3.3 million in commissions so that my clients could have a whole bunch of cash value to practice the concept of infinite banking. This is all my team does. We only set up policies like the ones that I just showed you guys that are low death benefit, high cash value. Beautiful thing is, the way these are set up, as the cash value grows, so does the death benefit. So you give up a big old death benefit up front, but hopefully you're going to live a long time. So as your cash value grows, as you start using that money to buy assets, to recapture money that you're giving away to banks for debts. As you're doing that, as you're practicing infinite banking, your cash value is growing. And the longer you live, the bigger that pot of money gets. Therefore, the bigger the death benefit gets. So you get your cake and you get to eat it too. You're going to pass away at some point. When you do, your family's going to get a whole bunch of money tax-free because the death benefit, there's no taxes, and it grows with these policies. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So guys, this is how it works. This is how me and my company structure these policies, how I gave up a ton of commission so that you could have cash value, so you can become your own bank and practice infinite banking. If you are ready to do the same thing, take back control of your money, have it grow in two places at the same time, inside of a policy, guaranteed, and then take it and put it into investments, real estate, crypto, the stock market, whatever you do to invest, have it grow in the policy and in the investment, then go ahead and check out the description of this video. There is a free training. Watch that training video. At the end, you can schedule a call with my team. That way we can help you do exactly what I talk about. We will make sure to structure your policy properly, have it low base premium, high paid up additions, so that you have a bunch of cash value and we don't get a bunch of commission. Who would you rather have your money? Would you rather have it in cash value, or would you rather me and my team have it in commissions so we can go live it up? I think the answer is clear. So guys, check out that video in the description, watch the video, and then make sure to schedule a call. So hope you guys got a ton of value. Make sure to like this video. The algorithm loves likes. This will help get out to more people so I can help more people. And if you liked this video, I know that you're gonna love that one. Check that one out, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and ask your questions. Put them in the comments. I will make sure to get back to all of them. Until next time, as always, I love you guys. Peace.